Hi there, traders. This is Art Dill, your emini success coach for futurestradingcompany.net, and a recap of our trades for January 31st, 2012. I took 6 trades today, 3 winning trades, 2 losing trades, and 1 break even. And the first trade of the day really got us off on the wrong foot, and it was unfortunate. I took the trade at 12,666, a little bit of a breakout here after the open at 638. And the Chicago PMI, Purchasing Managers, was supposed to be released at 6:45 Pacific, 9:45. They actually released it early. And so I was still in this trade, and the report was released. It was not as good as expected, and the market immediately sold off and stopped us out. So in the future, a new rule was born. No more trades entered within 10 minutes of any kind of major news release which might move the market. So lesson learned. Stopped out and got started the day with a 30-point loss, 15 points on both contracts. Then at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, we had consumer confidence report released, and it too was not as good as expected. And so the market sold off right here at 10 o'clock and continued to sell off. And I missed the short opportunity right here. Market has stabilized. We had a price retrace, a movement up in the hall, rollover, a trigger. That was a missed short at 12,613, and it would have been a nice trade. The second trade that I did take actually was a result of a trigger firing, but it was on very, very low ticks. We were nearing 800, negative 800, 900 ticks when the price, when I had the triggers firing. And so I waited for a retrace, and I put an order in. One contract at 12,572, and then another one 5 ticks higher than that to try to get into 2 contracts. Price only retraced to 12,572 exactly. We were filled. I exited that contract at 12,562 for a 10-point gain. The third trade I took today was a breakout trade of this little pivot here that was formed. You see I drove the trend line across there. We also had, at the time, a trigger was firing off, and so I took this breakout. I got filled at 12,546. Exited the first contract at 12,539 and the final contract at 12,526. The low of the move was 12,521. So plus 7 and plus 20 on the third trade of the day. So after 3 trades, we were back into positive territory. The fourth trade I took was at 8:31, and it was a trigger trade. Only took that with 1 contract. I was going to try to add at about 3:37 15.537. I got short at 528 on the one. My stop initially was at 546, and then price moved down to 523, and then I did not like this bar at all. I removed the second contract idea off the table. I was only in one contract, used the trailing SAR as my stop, and I was stopped out at 12,540, so a 12-point loss on that trade. So after four trades in the morning, I was down 5 Dow points, and still licking my wounds from that first trade where I got caught with the news release and the 30-point loss. The last trade I took was in the afternoon, but when I came back, I left the room here about right in this area for a morning break, lunchtime break in New York, and didn't come back in time to see this. But just to show you, this is a perfect setup. This is actually the first touch of the 89 EMA after the cross earlier. Price rolled over, we had the trigger fire, and that would have been an opportunity for a beautiful short entry and a very successful one. The next trade we took was at 11.57, and that was a trigger inspired trade. However, again, we were at very high ticks here, and I waited for a pullback. I was able to get it at 12,572, and price moved in our favor after I got filled 7 points in here, and I moved my stop back to break even, and I was stopped out at break even at 12,572. So the fourth trade was at 11.57 here, 12,572, moved in our favor by 7, and I did, as I said, brought my stop to break even. My target was 10 points there, and I was stopped out at break even. And then a little later, 12.11, again had a trigger, but on very high ticks, and that's where I bought the pullback. The trigger entry would have been 12,576 had I bought above the bar. As I say, we were on very high ticks. I tried to get a price pullback, and I was successful. The pullback went all the way to 12,564. I bought two contracts at 12,570. I exited the first contract at 12,577 and the second contract at 12,580. And that was the last trade of the day. I had determined that 6 trades was more than enough. That was plus 17 Dow points on that trade. And so we ended up the day plus 12 Dow points, basically enough to pay for all of the commissions on the 6 trades that we took. Going to be much more cognizant in the future of taking trades near reports. I thought I had enough time on the first trade of the day, but obviously I didn't because the news was released early. So I'm going to use a 10-minute window prior to a trade, prior to news releases from now on. Anyway, that was it for our final day of the month. It was a tough month. I think we ended up slightly positive overall. I know last week I ended up down 1 point for the entire week. So it has been a very tough trading environment, and looking forward to a much better environment going forward the rest of this year. Have a great evening, everyone. And I will post our trade results tomorrow, February 1st, after we are through trading. The ADP report is at pre-market tomorrow. I plan on being ready to trade that if an opportunity arises. Have a great trading month ahead of you, and year, and every day thereafter.